out of practice, but I'm back, so let's do a book haul. Hello lovely people, it's Nicole, and today I have my birthday / Christmas book haul. Like last year, I decided to combine them just because that's easiest because they're so close together. My birthday is on the 17th of December, so it makes more sense to just combine them. This also has a couple books that I picked up earlier in December. Yeah, I haven't uploaded like at all during December. I didn't even upload a November wrap-up. Sorry about that. It was one of those months where it was just sort of like one thing after another. Finals, and then I had my birthday, and then the holidays, and things just got a little chaotic, but I'm back. The first book I have is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I already read this, it'll be in my wrap-up, but this is about a girl and a guy who, they're 18, they meet just kind of by chance right before the girl is about to leave for New York. They're in California when they meet, but they spend her last day in California together and they really hit it off, and so they decide that they're going to spend November 9th, the date that they meet, together every year, and they're not going to talk at all in between. They're just going to meet up every single year on November 9th. And it just sort of chronicles their romance throughout the years, and it's really cute. Then I picked up a bunch of graphic novels because I realized near the beginning of the month that I'm really behind. I was really behind on my reading challenge, and so I needed to have some things that would be very quick to read, so I grabbed some graphic novels, the first one of which was Rat Queens Volume 2 by Curtis J. Weeb, Brock Upchurch, and I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that last name. But this is about a group of 4 girls who are various sort of fantasy creatures, and they go questing and epicness and general rowdiness. This is the second volume, and it's just sort of more of what the first volume was, a little bit more background on some of the different characters and all that jazz. And I picked up The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl Volume 2, Squirrel You Know It's True. Squirrel Girl is amazing. I read the first volume and I loved it, and so I had to pick up the second volume as soon as it came out. She is pretty much my favorite superhero. I don't know how I could love anyone more than her. She's sassy and funny and somehow weirdly relatable, but also like best friends with squirrels. I don't know, it's weird, and she always manages to, I don't know, defeat like the biggest bad guys in the weirdest ways. Somehow she half the time just like talks her way out of battles, and it's kind of amazing, and I love her, and so I was really excited to pick up the second volume. Then I got Miss Marvel Volume 2, Generation Y. We actually talked about Miss Marvel in my gender studies class, talking about how the evolution from Carol Danvers to Kamala Khan sort of paralleled the evolution of feminism, becoming more intersectional and becoming more about what women actually need versus just like sort of the surface issues. I'd already read the first volume, but that sort of prompted me to really want to pick up the second volume, because while I liked the first volume, I wasn't like dying to pick up the second volume, but I'm really glad I did. Then I got a copy of a book that I already have in paperback, but Barnes & Noble was having their Black Friday sale, and so that is a signed hardcover edition of Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. It's his signature, it's right there. I love this book, I love the movie adaptation, but my copy of the book is the movie cover, and that is very upsetting to me. Also, my copy is a paperback, and I really wanted the hardback, and they had a signed copy, and that made me so happy. So I'm really glad I have this now. Okay, sorry, things sort of adjusted a bit. My camera died and I had to go charge it. Next, I got Through the Dark by Alexandra Bracken, and this is a collection of short stories in the Darkest Minds world. Okay, there are 3 short stories in here. In Time, Sparks Rise, and Beyond the Night. I believe In Time and Sparks Rise were already released online, or like on iBooks or whatever, but I haven't read them, and I don't think they're from the same characters' points of view, but I'm interested in reading them because I really like the world and I really like Alexandra Bracken's writing. Then I got Fun Home by Alison Bechdel. This is a memoir, autobiography type thing about Alison Bechdel, the author, obviously, because it's auto, biography, and she came out as a lesbian when she was in college, and right around the same time her father, he didn't really come out, he was sort of outed as gay, and shortly after he committed suicide. And this is about that experience and sort of her life growing up. Then I got Pop Sonnets by Eric Diedrichson. These are Shakespearean versions of pop songs and they're really funny. It has not just sort of like modern pop songs, there are also a couple like 80s, 90s type things. I mean, you get songs from Call Me Baby to I Want It That Way to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song to Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's really a pretty decent variety of songs and they're all so funny. Then I got Trouble by Non Pratt. I don't really know a ton about this. I know the main character is pregnant either when the book starts or gets pregnant very early on. It's a teen pregnancy story. Which I'm a little nervous about because normally I don't like teen pregnancy stories, but I've heard so many really good things about the author that I thought I'd pick it up. But that's really all I know about it. Then I got Deadpool Classic. So this is a collection of comic books from the early days of Deadpool. So this contains his very first appearance in New Mutants 98, then his first 2 solo adventures, each of those are about 4 issues long, and then the first issue from his 97 series. Then I got Soundless by Rochelle Mead, and I am in the middle of this book. This is a standalone fantasy novel about a girl who lives in a village in hypothetically it's sort of Chinese folklore, but it's not clear whether it's in like real life China or just a fantastical parallel dimension that resembles China. But her village has no sound. For generations and generations they have been completely deaf, and unfortunately people are starting to go blind as well. And so our main character one day starts to hear things and has to sort of use this to help her village. So the next book I got is Far From You by Tess Sharp. This is, from what I can tell from the back, about a girl who has an accident when she's like 14, and this results in her having a bunch of various medical and mental issues. Then later on when she's 17, she and her best friend get in some kind of trouble. They like get kidnapped or something like that, and she survives but her best friend dies, and she has to sort of figure out what happened and also deal with the fact that people think that she's still struggling with the addiction that she got from all the drugs that she was on after her first accident. And then her and her best friend had some big secret. I don't know, it's really sort of mysterious and dark sounding from the back cover. But the reason I picked it up is because from what I've heard, by girls, and I'm a fan of representation, so I've heard good things about it. I'm just hoping it lives up to expectations. The next book I got, I am so excited about. I haven't read it yet, but I really am excited to. I just haven't had the time to just sit down and take a couple hours to just look through it. Harry Potter Character Vault. It's so pretty. I have the, it's like literally right behind me. I have the Harry Potter Creature Vault, which looks almost exactly the same, except instead of people on it, there are creatures on it, and it's purple. But this is just a big book with going through talking about all the different characters and some of the development and sort of how they adapted books into movies. And I'm so excited to read through this. This was the kind of thing that I literally dragged my parents into Barnes & Noble, like put this in their hands and said, okay, I'm leaving now. If anyone needs to do any Christmas shopping while we're here. So yeah, subtlety is not my forte, but I am so excited to read this. Next book I got is The Storied Life of A.J. Thickery by Gabrielle Zevin, and this is about a man who owns a bookshop, and some mysterious package arrives that helps the bookshop, which is struggling. That's really all I know about it, but I have heard that it's a great sort of book about books kind of vibe, which I really love, and I've heard good things from friends, so I'm definitely excited to read it. Then I picked up See How They Run by Ally Carter. This is the sequel to All Fall Down, which is her new series about a girl who goes to live with her grandfather, who is the ambassador to a fictional country, and he's the American ambassador to that country. And so she's dealing with a lot of the sort of political stuff, and then she's also trying to solve her mother's murder. I can't really say anything about the plot of this one because literally every single detail about the plot is a spoiler for the first book. But I highly recommend you pick up the first book. Then I got Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is the third novel and the final novel in the Starbound trilogy. I have no clue the specifics of the plot of this one. I assume it's another love story, and I really like the colors and the dress on this one. But I mean, the first two were really good, cute, sci-fi romances, and I'm really excited to see how everything sort of ties together and comes to a close. And then at the very end of the month, it was like December 29th or 30th, and I still needed like 2 more books for my reading challenge, and so I went to Barnes & Noble and I got some books that I knew I could finish really fast. So I got Colleen Hoover books. I got the 2 sequels to Slammed by Colleen Hoover, Point of Retreat and This Girl. Point of Retreat is the direct sequel. It picks up a couple months after Slammed ends. I think Slammed ends in like September, and Point of Retreat picks up in December or January. And that is just continuing on the story of Will and Laken. And then This Girl is sort of a, well, it's a retelling of Slammed from Will's point of view, but at the same time it's also sort of him telling the story to other people, so you get sort of other people's reactions, and it's a little bit of sort of an epilogue type thing. Like I said, I already read these really quickly. I think I read both of them in like the same day, and I will talk about them more in my wrap up. Alright, so those are all the books I got in December. Let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought of them, or which one of them I should pick up next. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I will try to get my shit together and not disappear for an entire month at a time again. Anyway, I love you, and I will see you later. Bye!